bringing up our songwriters, Cheri Lovedog, come on down, and Robert Shushan. That's right. And then on drums, we have Shelly Cole. On lead guitar, Lori Petty. On rhythm and vocals, Gina Gershon. And then the person that brought it all together, Alex Steyermark. Please come on up. Everybody, grab a seat. I'm going to share mics.
No, you're going to
get a chair and everything?
Yeah, you get a chair and everything.
Wow.
Stop it, I'm going to hand you this one.
Yeah, now you have to sit on the floor. I know, right? I wouldn't be surprised.
There's so many questions that I want to ask, but I think we'll just start by bringing in the audience first, and then we'll moderate from there. How's that sound? Everybody, so anybody who got a hand somewhere?
Well, thank you for being here. First of all, I just want to say,
Yeah.
I wanted to know how long it took you to practice. You were doing these songs, to get together as a band.
We should give her a mic.
No, I'm going to repeat the question.
Oh, you're going to be
the question from the front, talking about practicing. How did you, learn to play your instruments, learn to look like you're playing your instruments, and actually, in many cases, play the instruments?
How long did we rehearse for? I can't remember. I mean, I played acoustic guitar since I was 11, but I hadn't played for a while. And then when we started learning the songs, that's when Joan Jett was on, and she taught me how to play the electric guitar with some very choice words, but I don't think I can repeat them here. And then I don't remember how long it took us to practice and learn the songs.
I think that we,
I can't remember.
I think that when we first, because we had 2 generations of this, and
Where's your microphone?
this is going to make it all the way here.
Go behind.
no, I can speak loud.
should sit
And
closer to the
I
Yeah, we
think
can
that
smush
we
her. I
had,
think we should. Yeah, smush in.
I think we had like 4 weeks of rehearsal the first time through, and then we kind of had to regroup, and then took a month off, and then I think we had about 3 more weeks of rehearsal. That dude with the yellow hair up there, that's Malcolm. He taught me how to play the drums.
Is that your drum teacher? Yeah. Oh my God.
I didn't know freaking lit about how to play the drums, but it looks pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you did great.
I mean, the interesting thing, when you do a music film, it's like 2 separate projects. First, you have to do all the music. And so we spent about 2 months on that. The band, it was important to have an all-star, all-women punk band. So we had Samantha Maloney, who was the drummer for Hole and Motley Crue on drums. We had Sarah Lee, who played for Gang of Four, B-52s, and Indigo Girls. Gina Volpe played from the Lunatics on guitar. Gina did the vocals. Cheri played guitar. Stephen Trask, who had written the music for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I was the executive music producer on Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which is how I got to direct this film. This was my first feature. And I brought Stephen on board because I knew he would make it sound great. And that was a whole 2 months. We had to rehearse the musicians. Gina had to rehearse, then we recorded. And then we were 2 days from filming, and production had to shut down because it turned out that not all the financing was in place. And so, what you were alluding to, and then Gina became a producer, brought in Gina Resnick and Alexis Seeley, without whom we couldn't have gotten this made. And then it was a whole other rehearsal process of rehearsing the actors and having them learn their instruments. Lori?
I remember, this was so funny. So I played the piano and the saxophone since I was a little kid, but I never played the guitar. And I was like, I can play the guitar. So I it was awesome. It was awesome. So I got a private coach behind your back, and so that I could, be cool. So I was on stage, and I think it was Cheri actually. So I'm on stage, we're shooting the scene, and we're all just whatever fucking song it was, and I'm killing it, but I'm just smiling from ear to ear. And they're like, cut, Lori, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what? I'm great. And they're like, you're in a punk band. You can't smile. I'm like, but it's fun. I don't give a fuck if it's fun. Stop smiling. It was really funny. One of you motherfuckers said it. I don't know.
And you're all big grins.
I was, because I was like,
Cool.
right. And so then I went to my private coach. I was like, dude, they said I can't smile. They said, no, he said, no, you can't. It's punk. No, you can't. I said, well, I don't know how to be mad at music. And he goes, okay, I have a secret, but don't tell them. I'm like, okay, I got it. What's the secret? He said, pretend you're stupid. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, and it works.
Great method
Just
acting.
pretend, yeah.
I just thought you were stupid.
No, I just look stupid. No.
You did a great job.
You did a great job, baby.
You were great. Thank you. Everybody's great.
I want. Let's start at the beginning because we talked. I had the opportunity to talk with Alex and Cheri and Robin earlier today. But the genesis of the film starts on the page and starts with Cheri and her story. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that. Or please share if you can share some of that with the audience.
First of all, hi Francois. That's the fellow who
Francois.
gave her the drugs.
I saw you.
He's a motorcycle boy, and they're playing around here, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah. I said, oh my God, Francois, you should play that guy. He goes, I am that guy. I said, I know, you should play that guy. So, anyways, I had a tattoo shop for a long time in Santa Cruz, and Robin and her mom came in to get some tattoos, and they were talking just about whatever, and her mom says, I was talking about, I don't know how we started, we're talking about, she said she lived in New York, in the West Village. I'm like, my dream was to go to New York and live in the West Village and write poetry and, be that person and the whole thing. And so I told her I was working on these stories, I was trying to put something together, like a show or some, I don't know what. And she said, well, send me them, I'll read them if you want. I said, oh yeah, sure, So I mailed them to her. And like 3 weeks later, I get this letter, this is back in the day, it's like a long time ago, I got a handwritten letter from her saying, come out to New York and we want to take your stories and make them into a play and blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That was crazy. But I went and we did it. I learned how to write a play. I learned how to do everything. And then it got picked up for the film. But that was a great tattoo that I gave somebody that changed my whole life, right? I mean, I came and lived in New York for like a year and a half. It was pretty amazing. Yeah.
My mom has the same one. I don't know why that's a brag, but
That's important.
yeah.
What was it about the stories that?
Do you want to have my? You take this one.
It was really the way you were talking about just life and just your whole the shop, all the people you work.
Talking to
Oh,
Mike.
sorry. And
Hello.
it was the stories. What is my problem? It's not a penis. Just sorry, I'm all right. It was really the stories that she was telling, and I had this idea that she would be a really good writer just because of the way she spoke. And then you also told me that you had written some things, just narratives, pages, right, and of course lyrics. So I had a feeling about her, and then I was right when she sent me the stuff, and it was amazing. And she came, and we cast it. We put it up at CBGB before they shut it down, and it was incredible, fun, and we couldn't find someone to play Jackie, and I kind of forced Cheri into doing it, even though she was on stage a lot in her life. It's different when you have to memorize dialogue, but she was great at that too. So, you know.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? You're great.
Here's what happened. We had I didn't want to ever be in the play. I'm just happy being a writer. I didn't ever want to make a movie, really. It just kind of came my way, which I know is crazy because people spend their whole life writing screenplays, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just the dick who just got one made, not even trying, right? But, huh? Oh, because it's true, right? I mean, it's funny because it's true. I don't even know what I was going to say.
Go ahead, Gina, take it from there.
And when did you get involved?
And when did Alex get involved?
Let's just keep this thing moving.
I know.
Well, I got involved because I had been the executive music producer on Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and a mutual friend, actually, of Robin's and mine, said, "Oh, I know these people that are trying to make a movie. They have a script, it's a musical, and they love Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Would you want to talk to them about producing the music?" And so I spoke with them, but I read the script and I loved the script, and I thought it was really authentic. I love that it was for once it felt like it was really telling a real story about what it's like to really be in a band, and I thought it was funny, and they told me they wanted to attach me as the music producer, and they were then going to go out and talk to first-time directors, they were telling me, and I said, well, if you're talking to first-time directors, then I don't want to do that. I want to direct the movie.
That first time.
And so that's how I got involved, and then I met with Cheri, and
Oh, yeah. When they first,
Give me a mic. When they first told me they wanted to make a movie, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So at that point, I didn't know that anybody was attached at that point. And so I didn't know how to write a screenplay, of course, keeping my tradition. So they said they wanted to get a director, and they talked about Alex. And I'm a huge Hedwig fan, like huge, major fan of Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So if you're not, you should be. Check it out. So anyways, I'm like, oh my God, I love the movie, so I'm going to love him. So we meet one night, and we're talking. It's the first time we've ever talked somewhere in New York. And we were talking about the movie and the script and this and that. And I said, listen, when we cast the play, the person who was supposed to play the lead was awful. She was awful. And I didn't want to cast her, but they did it. So she was, and this is a play, it's nothing to do with the movie. So she was horrible, and so that's why I ended up playing the role, because I said, if we don't get somebody new in that role, I'm not doing it. I'm leaving New York and packing my shit. I'm gonna go, because it was so horrible. So I was worried, I had some concerns. So when I met with Alex and we were talking, I said, I'm nervous about somebody playing that part, because I don't know who could do it. I'm like, who can do that? I mean, I could do it, but I don't know why I said that. I can never fucking do it in a film. But and then I said, he goes, well, I've been talking to Gina Gershon. I'm like, well, Gina Gershon? Yeah, she might be interested in this part. And I'm like, oh, I love Gina. Gina is the straight girl who gets to make love to the most beautiful women. And I just, it kills me because I'm not, and I don't. And
it's a living.
I know. I'm just like, damn it. I could rehearse those scenes with her for you. But anyway, so Gina, I was very excited about Gina, and then was like, yeah, then, Lori Petty. I'm like, Lori Petty? What the fuck? And I knew Dre from The Sopranos was going to be it. She wanted to do it the whole time. So I was just like, oh, yeah, well, we're good, because...
No, she didn't. I hounded her down. Remember, she wasn't.
Oh, well, because she couldn't the second time. You're right. The first time
She couldn't do it, and then I just stalked her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should, like you do.
When I became like a producer person, I was just
That's
like,
right.
and I was just like, we fucking need Drea. And
Yeah.
I didn't know her, but I literally stalked her.
Good.
I kept going, you have to do this. Thank God, because she was so great.
Oh, she was amazing. Everybody was great.
Everyone was great.
It
And
was the
Shelley.
music. She was afraid of the bass.
She was afraid to try to pretend she could play the bass.
Yeah, she was great.
Killed that.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Everybody did. I was really happy when they here. I'll take that.
Take that.
The writers never get to talk about
I know.
movies, man. I'm telling you right now, they're just like, oh, the writer.
I've ever had.
There's the water over there for you. So,
Take
I
it
always
away.
forget what I'm saying because I go off on a fucking tangent. I don't remember.
We could ask questions.
Drea, something about
So then Drea, and then Drea came in.
Explain.
You were happy with the whole thing.
She's a
Yeah, I
great
lost it.
actress and she's hot.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Thank you. All that's true. But the best thing was that when they were rehearsing, Alex was great for producing it. Because one thing I said, you can't do that cutaway shot where they show like a girl playing guitar and they show somebody playing lead and it's not them and it's not them and you don't sit through. No, they're not going to do that. So those girls hauled their equipment into rehearsal studios, set it up they did like exactly what a real band would do. And they were good. And then I went and saw them playing. I couldn't believe that. Lori's like, I'm like, oh, she must have played guitar before.
Wait, I gotta
What'd you
say
play, the
something.
banjo, or what did you play?
No, this is funny.
No, this is fucking hysterical. So they wanted us to play somewhere. And we were on set, and they were like, Laura, okay, tonight we're gonna go play it, blah, blah, blah. I go, homie, you know this shit ain't plugged in, right? You know this shit is called acting, right? No, but I go, yeah, I know. I'm not.
I don't remember.
Nothing's plugged into the wall. Like it was so sweet because I was like, we must be doing good.
You guys were note by note, though.
Then I really played,
Yeah. Oh, no,
right?
you played.
And then
Let's just say though, you were singing live vocals on camera.
I was singing live
right.
vocals.
Yeah.
But Alex, that was Alex's, and that was smart because he's like, it always looks so lame, so you gotta sing live vocals and everything was, recorded. But then remember when we were gonna try to sell it, the guys were just like, those who might find, they're like, well, you have to really play at, Sundance to help. I'm like, we don't really have a band. Like, I have an acoustic guitar. And they're like, well, yeah, you've got to figure it out. You got to play at the thing. And, just as the music gods have always been kind to me, I was like, oh my God, I got to play. And then one thing led to another, and I bumped into Matt Sorum, who was at Guns N' Roses, and I was just like, hey, dude, and I just met him. I'm like, hey, I need to put a band together because I got to sing a couple songs. I tried to sell the movie that we did. And he was like, oh, well, I'll be your drummer. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're good. And I said, well, where do I get the other guys? He was like, well, let's just ask Slash and Matt and Duff because they were looking for their new lead singer. And I'd met Slash and I thought it was really nice. I didn't know Duff. And I'm like, so he made a call. He's like, okay, great. So you got our band. And I remember calling going, hi, I've got a band called Guns N' Roses to play with me at Sundance. Like, can you just pay for their way there? And then, so that was my first real live band I really played with.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so
I just have to
That was
comment real
insane.
quick at that party. I think Britney Spears tried to get in.
Oh, I
She was
remember that.
denied. Anyway, Matt Sorum.
Did
Matt
we
Sorum.
deny Britney Spears?
Yeah, we did. But Matt Sorum was like, let's get the real drummer up here. Shelly Cole, where are you?
And you're like, I don't know how to drum.
No, it was insane. Yes. Quick.
Just a qualification, not a question, but just because they're being so modest about it, there was at least one time in practice where they were all double dog daring each other, like, we have to play these songs for real.
I think we played Pray for Rock and Roll.
We do this for real, and they did.
We played the
and
theme
it
song.
rocked.
Yeah.
Everyone there was like, yes, we can do this. We don't even need the playback. And it was like, okay, reel it back because now we've got.
That was my drum coach. That's who's speaking up here.
Great
you.
job.
They really did play live in a rehearsal room, and it sounded right.
Awesome.
It
Did
wasn't just acting.
Did you say Britney Spears couldn't get in?
Well, we said no.
We turned away Britney Spears. It was
Listen,
like
I
a
tried
punk
to
show.
get into the party at Sundance, right? And I'm all like, my movies at Sundance. I'm feeling pretty bad. Nobody knows I'm a writer or whatever. In my mind, I'm big, So I go and I think my mom's there, my brother and sister are there. And then I'll right there. I'll be right with you. So anyways, I go to the party and they're like, yeah, you're not on the list. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm not on the list?
I wrote the fucking.
I have a little bit to do with this thing. And so they go, yeah, well, you're not on the list. So I was like embarrassed because my family's with me, right? It's a big deal. And I'm like, well, so I called Gina on the phone in the club. Do you remember? I called you up and I'm like, dude, they won't let me into the party. You're like, hold on. And like all of a sudden you came in the door and like, get in here. And like we all went in there and I was like, I can't believe I couldn't get into my car. That's bullshit.
Well, you didn't play the whole like, hey, I wrote the movie.
No, I don't do that.
Well,
That's what you have to do.
You gotta do that.
You have to go like this.
Yes,
Dude!
Seriously.
This wouldn't be here if it weren't for me. Yes, sir. Hello.
I'm an old friend of yours.
Are you?
Oh, uh-oh.
30 years.
Uh-oh.
From the Directors Guild.
From the
I worked
director?
at the Directors Guild. We used to have your manager upstairs and get your
Just
script.
say yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
There you go, there you
Right.
go.
So anyway, you guys shot at the Ambassador Hotel.
Yeah.
And-
Right.
And a friend of mine was the location person, Cheri. Anyway, she was your location person. Anyway, we worked with you guys because of your budget to get you in there.
Thank you.
And one of the reasons is,
Thank you.
well, I said, I found out you were attached to it. I'm like, we gotta make this happen with Gina.
Aw.
And it was great. That was one of our last, maybe like the year before we closed down and we tore it down.
The ambassador.
Yeah,
It was so cool in there.
It was-
Yeah, we did the last show was in there.
Yeah,
And the
Coconut
opening and the closing.
And then your apartment, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Your apartment.
Yeah.
My apartment, where my girlfriend's hair almost went on fire.
That's a great story. Tell that story.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Well, I just lost my earring. It's not that great of a story.
It's a funny story.
It's just, when we were having our kissing scene, our love scene, and, she was so gorgeous and her hair was so incredible. And I just remember looking at her like, oh, my girl's like, she's smoking. And then I'm thinking, she's seriously smoking. Her hair had caught on fire. Because I guess we weren't supposed to really light candles. And that's why you don't light candles during the real scene, because she caught on fire. But no one was really hurt because she had so much hair and we just put it out. And she was a good sport. I was just like, wow, she's smoking. Yes.
Hi.
But you
I've
have
got
to
a
say.
question for the amazing performers. So, it's one thing playing instruments, but playing instruments in character must be a completely different experience, or not. I don't know.
Did you hear what she said?
What's your question?
So, what's it like playing a character versus playing as yourself, just to hear the music, versus playing as a character?
You just put it on the list, homie. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this.
And don't smile.
And don't smile.
No, I mean, I think it's also, they're not, I didn't write the songs, or I wasn't doing, you're playing someone else's music and you're just trying to get in. I think the songs kind of dictate the intensity of how you're playing. And then, of course, the scenes, God, every 6 minutes is really intense.
It really is. Yeah.
Just still watching that, my stomach was getting really tense.
That's I think that's the answer to that question is we spent so much time together as actors and all of the crew and everything and working together, and we've spent so much time practicing our instruments together and rehearsing, and I think that that's the most intense for me song.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything as a character that I'm playing, everything as a character I'm playing is, I think we just gave everything during that song. I don't know.
It was all there in that
I just
room.
think whatever,
It's, you're acting, and then you just happen to be singing instead of doing words, so you're still playing that character. Do you know what I mean? You're just doing it with songs instead, which is part of who the character is.
I think that's a good way to say it.
I think it's a great observation, though, and it's really a testament to all four of the actors, because I worked on a lot of movies with actors doing music scenes before I directed this, and it's not easy to do that, and so it's really a reflection of how incredible you prepare for it and how much you absorb the characters that those, every 6 minutes, I love the exchange of the looks between you and Shelley. It says so much about your relationship.
Well, yeah, and the instrument becomes part of your body.
Yeah.
As you know, Gina, it's part of you. So it's not like I'm playing this instrument. It's like I just watched Full Metal Jacket. This is my gun. There are many like it, but I'm music, right? So your guitar is that's my shit, So yeah.
There's a conversation I noticed, when you were moving toward her, and she was playing the drums, and it really looked like the conversation that you weren't going to have, but you were having it musically.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. And then at the end of the song, it was guitar down, me down.
You were just
down.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an emotional number.
That you wrote. that your character wrote?
My character wrote.
Yes, it was fabulous.
This woman next to me.
That
really
other
wrote
lady
it.
who can't get in parties.
Yes, good writer, terrible at getting in parties. Can't be good at it all. Too bad. Next question. Yes.
Just a couple things. Do you still play the drums?
No, I people ask me if I can play the drums. All I said was I can play 9 punk rock songs.
Well, I actually saw the film at Sundance in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't really know what to expect because it's been 21 years, but I think it's amazing how it held up. The performances are awesome.
Yeah.
The songs are amazing. And I kind of feel like that movie was ahead of its time back then. I feel like it seemed much more resonant.
I think that's
to me
the
now.
idea. Like,
I think that's very true. I mean, I remember when we were discussing at some point, because it was so gnarly, that the rape scene, and do we do the rapist on the forehead? Because this is way before Quentin did it, and we had seen it, and I think we're all just like, yeah, fuck yeah, of course, it's like, we can do whatever we want, let's keep it in, because it just felt so raw, and it really plays now. I mean, it just has a different sort of appeal. When I had seen that the first time, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
It was cool. Thank God we kept it in.
And I just want to, hop on what that guy said over there. Gina, I worked with your daughter,
Oh my God, when did that happen?
You guys don't know, but I have to.
I worked with your sister Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
So, small world.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Okay,
like
so
her
I-
daughter.
I
Oh,
watched
she's the
your
best.
Can I?
Didn't I?
May I? So a bunch of my students, I moved to Denver quite a while ago, and a bunch of my students just surprised me and showed up today. I think and apparently Ryan, you have a question.
Big love.
She doesn't like it.
Is the spelling behind pray, did that have to do with like the suffering that you guys like something
That's a Cheri question.
during?
What's the question?
The
Like,
spelling behind pray.
P-R-E-Y versus P-R-A-Y.
Well, it's not this, it's that, of course.
Wait, what are they asking me?
Why you went for pray instead
Oh.
of pray.
Oh, okay, there you go. Because obviously, I feel like in life it's two things, like for women, especially very women-focused film. And by the way, all those stories are true because people would say, "Oh, that could never happen." I'm like, welcome to my life. I mean, I don't, at the time, the world I was in, Hollywood, music, all the drugs, that was just the way it was. There was nothing in there that was like, oh, that's not right.
Did you actually do rapist on
I
someone's
can't
forehead?
talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
But,
Sorry.
so, no. So,
It was a fantasy. It was just a fantasy.
yeah, it was just
a
a
revenge fantasy.
fantasy thing.
Next question.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question? Yes. Oh.
We're good. I was just curious a bit more about like the suffering that like y'all experienced for rock and roll kind of. 'cause
I think that's the idea.
yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
another one.
Watching the movie all these years later, is there anything from a writer or performer standpoint that you guys would change?
That we what?
Would change. Anything you would change
No.
after seeing
fact-
it again after all these years?
I haven't watched this movie, partially because I was really pissed off at the original, my God, I'm not supposed to, whatever, anyway. I boycotted my own film because I didn't like the way it was handled. I thought it was not handled correctly and respectfully for all the actors and everybody involved. Everybody like worked their ass off. And so when I'm watching it tonight, I was like, oh my, I totally forgot stuff that was in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did, and I was just like, oh my God, and everything was just so intense because that was 20 years ago, man, when it happened, and now I'm 20 years older. I have a whole different perspective on all this, and I'm like, ooh, that is kind of brutal. But when I was writing, I'm like, yeah, they were going to write about, because, well, that happened, and no longer, and it didn't even occur to me about any of that, and everybody was just, like you were saying, was just like, no, let's do it, man. You know what I mean? Because that's like the reality. You have to think 20 years ago, I think people were a little bit, I just remember I got told several times, that couldn't happen. That didn't happen. And I'm like, it did happen. I don't know what to tell you guys, but, like they can watch a movie about a lady getting dismembered and raped 97 times, and nobody fucking says anything. Oh, that's not real. Well, that is too, but I'm saying, so you write a story about your real life and your real experience, and you get great people to tell your story, right? And then people think it's too much, and it's like, fuck you, man. It's not too much,
There's also, every 6 minutes that the song.
Oh yeah,
it's such a
now
great
every
song.
yeah.
The point of it is to pound it into your head that think about this every 6 minutes someone is raped.
Yeah.
Today, it's every 63 seconds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
So we're going backwards. As far as rewriting something, if I could, I remember, do you remember this? The line where he says, look into the one-eyed snake's eye.
Yeah.
I thought that redundancy was so hilarious.
Yes.
And remember how much I thought it was so funny? It wasn't that funny, was it? I mean,
No, but
I
Ivan's
wasn't
so
high
genius in that.
or
Ivan
anything.
was great.
I just thought
Ivan's
it
so
was
fantastic.
I mean, just like the grammatically stupid. I thought it was so funny, but
I think it's funny.
yeah, okay, thanks, thank you. Okay, I don't regret it anymore.
So sorry. Thank you so much for coming out and doing this. Quick question about the lyrics, the writing. Did you guys write this? Did you write the songs first? Or?
No, those songs have been when I had a band for many years in LA, and I did those songs that I'd written throughout my career as a musician, and they're pretty much like most of them. If you listen, you could tell they're kind of stories about either stuff politically, like post-nuclear celebration party song, but most of them are just stories about what happened. Like that song "Every 6 Minutes" was about a friend of mine. It happened to her, and she came over and we were talking about it, and we wrote that song together. So a lot of it just comes from what's really happening, So I had tons more music, but the music was already there. So she picked out stuff for the play, and then Alex got he got all kinds of old stuff, the older punker stuff and the kind of newer stuff. And then he kind of picked out the music for the movie, and a lot of it was the stuff we used for the play. But he, had a different take, and he picked out ones. But they were already done. The songs were, thank God. Yes, sir.
May I say that there is a wonderful through line between the struggles for a woman and the struggles for an artist that I think is illustrated very well in the film. And your production design was exceptional.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because you have all of these beautiful creatures roaming around and shots that could have been, considered objectifying, except for the tattoos seem to be more like showing scars on a warrior.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much thought was put into the tattooing for each character.
I'm pretty sure you were a tattoo artist for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pretty much was covered in tattoos when we did the film, and me and Gina talked a lot about different, like she doing. I don't have blonde hair. You don't have blonde hair. We were talking, you told me a couple of funny stories about things. But anyways, we just talked, and I said, look, just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But like 20 years ago, I was very heavily tattooed, and it was not like it is now. It's a little bit more whatever. So I'm like, just do whatever, just make sure you're covered.
But I took a long time with my tattoos.
Yeah, no, you thought it. I'm like, get you, don't get this.
Yeah,
you.
no, I remember saying that I was looking at a lot of your stuff, and it's like, you have to make your own story, because tattoos are a story. And I actually went and worked with Mark Mahoney.
Yeah.
I went to the place, was it your place? No, you sent me somewhere. But then I ended up at Mark Mahoney's at the Shamrock Club, and I started drawing on people. They wouldn't let me actually tattoo because I didn't have a license, but I really wanted to. I was ready to. They're like, here's an orange. I'm like, fucking orange. But I spent a lot of time really thinking. I don't have any tattoos because it took me forever to figure out my fake tattoos because they really mean something. And so, because I had like 40 at the end of the day.
But you did have my back piece on your back.
I had your back piece?
Yeah, I had a Lady Justice that has a scale, and there's a gun in one side and a
that was
cigarette on
yours.
the other, and that's the one that you have.
Definitely.
A take from mine.
But all the other ones, I got to put them together, and they mean something. It's like they tell a story.
Well, put somebody else's clothes on it, you know what I mean? And try to, you have to have your own. You did it.
But I put them on for what I thought Jackie would be, with a little bit of my own imbued that made sense to connect. It's just, it tells a story, so.
It seemed thoughtful, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. It didn't look weird.
I thought they looked good.
Yeah, no, it looked really good.
At the beginning you said the film got lost.
Ah.
What, do you mind explaining?
Yeah. So this film, it premiered at Sundance in 2003, and then had a really nice festival life. It was the closing night gala at Frameline in San Francisco. It was the awards night film here at Outfest and a lot of other festivals. It got picked up for distribution. It was distributed by a company that went out of business within about a year, and
You're being really polite about this.
I'm trying, you know, I have to be careful.
I was told.
No,
I'm sorry.
Be polite, go ahead.
Anyway, so it kind of just disappeared. You know, there were some DVDs that came out at one point. They weren't very well made, but that's all that there was. It wasn't, you couldn't find it anywhere. And last year was the 20th anniversary, and I started getting requests from people about wanting to show the film. Now, this film, and Antonio will remember, was one of the first films shot on the Sony Panavision digital camera. So at the time, most people didn't show digital, so we made 35 millimeter prints, and that's all that I had. I had a copy, a 35 millimeter copy, but now it's pretty hard to get film prints showing everything's digital. So I started to look for the digital, like, okay, where is it, you know? And there were two copies made, two digital copies. Alex, for Sundance, Alexis flew to Sundance with one, and I flew on another plane with one. You know, we imagined that it might crash in the Rockies or something.
Gotta have the film.
And so I knew there were two copies, and one of them disappeared in a flood, supposedly. And so that meant there was one more. And I spent 6 months trying to find this digital copy, and it's a long, sordid story, but it's
Can I tell the short version of the story?
Well,
that's a little bit more entertaining. Alex, you're being so polite, but the story's going. Basically, it did really well at Sundance. They told me I had to go on tour. I put a band together. I went on tour. Alexis is here, part of Girls Against Boys, my band, my drummer. And we were working our ass off playing, and then in the daytime, I'm supposed to be promoting the film. And then as we've noticed in the middle of the tour, I'm like, where is this film playing? And it just disappeared. Yeah. And even though it opened and it got really great reviews, but it was open for what, like a week or 2 weeks, and we're playing, and I'm like, okay, this is dumb. And then no one ever talked about it. And it was disappeared, and there was no, I don't think streaming was going on then, but basically, and then cut to, you know, you couldn't find it anywhere, and everyone kind of got involved, and it all seemed really shady. We're obviously not supposed to talk about it. And then I ended up going to a Comic-Con type thing, one of those things during COVID time, and people kept coming up to me with DVDs, because there was the DVDs, right. And they kept saying, like, where can we see this movie? We could only, like, it's not streaming anywhere, we can't find it unless we have the DVD. And then Alex and I were working together. You know, I directed something, and I was like, Alex, and he came to help me, and we just started talking. And I was like, everyone's asking about this. And he's like, oh, everyone's asking me too. One thing led to another, and then Alex found the copy. And so here we are. That's the more entertaining.
Well, there is one little plot twist, which is that the copy was in a vault in Hollywood marked unplayable. And I said, okay, wait, I've been looking for 6 months, and there's been a lot of misinformation or incorrect. Can you just put it in the machine and see if it'll play? And 2 hours later, I got an email saying, guess what, it plays. So I immediately had to make a new digital copy in this format. And
in short, there was a lot of shenanigans, shady behavior, but now here we are.
But that's how we have it, and it's been restored. The surround sound's been restored.
And then Kino Lorber were so great, because we were just trying to get it somewhere to stream, and they're like, we want to re-release this. And so we've been playing it in different places, and it'll be streamed, and it's going to be, you know, I'm not sure what's going on, but, you know, here we are with you guys today.
I mean, for much of the past 20 years, if a movie theater wanted to play the film, if they could even find a copy, they wouldn't know who, there was no one to call and say, yes, you're allowed to. And then, you know, as much as you guys would have said, yeah, well, we'd love for you to show it, but technically someone owns it, we don't know who, it's a, whatever, one of those things. And this happens frequently. So it's really fabulous that, I mean, you know, there are orphan films that disappear.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Independent.
He wanted to ask a question.
I was gonna ask, when it was theatrically released, what cinema played it, in which cities? Like it was on for 1 week or something?
Oh, maybe
Well,
I think in New York it was at
Greg's theater-
Sunshine.
Greg was the
We
first.
played it at the Sunset 5.
Oh yeah, Sunset 5 here. And in New York it was at Sunshine, I think, but that's no longer there anymore.
Sunshine's not there anymore, no.
Wasn't it the Sunshine? I think
Yeah.
for some reason I remember going there and somewhere else.
Was in Austin.
Nope, here at the Sunset 5 in LA.
I don't remember.
And then it
Sunset
faded.
5.
Played in Austin,
Yeah, and
Seattle.
right.
It was
and
all
Santa
over,
Cruz
but then
and-
just disappeared.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're all riding high for a minute.
yeah.
I'm all like, I didn't make not a lot, I got paid something, you know. And I'm like, I bought a fucking Cadillac. I'm like, man, you know, this is happening in my life now. I'm gonna get a really nice car because I really like nice cars, which I had to give back because I never got anything else, and I thought it was gonna be this ongoing, and it just died, and it was really heartbreaking to me because I'm
It
like,
didn't die, it disappeared. All of a sudden it just was
well,
nowhere
yeah, I
to
mean, it
be
was just
found.
gone. It was just gone.
And so it was just weird, the shady world of
Yeah.
independent distributors. I'm not allowed to say any more.
Oh, I know. There's so many great stories we can't tell you guys. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Write a movie.
Anyway.
I know, huh?
Well, but we're grateful to Greg for.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm just like so excited that it's like in a theater.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Francois?
I snuck a beer in here, sorry.
Any other questions that anyone? Yes.
So, sorry, was it also restored? Or is this the DCP from?
You improved it.
This is improved, yeah, no, there was no DCP.
This is the best
It
version
was an
we've
old
seen.
format that was tape, it was digital tape.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they thought it was on play, I don't know, they said it had digital dropout, so
There
no,
it
this
is.
is a DCP, no, there was never a DCP, no.
Thank
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for being here. It's really.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out, guys.
We have another screening tomorrow night in Glendale.
Oh, cool.
And Alex and Cheri are gonna be there for Q&A, and, you know, we're gonna, I mean, there isn't necessarily a repertory circuit, but there also is. So I think there's gonna be more opportunities, to see the film in theaters. It's certainly gonna be, I think in September, it's going to be released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
By Kino Lorber.
Oh, awesome.
You can also find it on Kino now, and any place for people to go to follow the
Is it
film or
on
get
Prime?
updates.
It's gonna be streaming eventually on, Amazon Prime, a bunch of streamers. It's gonna be playing in some other cities, Boston in August 18th, if you know anyone there. I'll be there doing Q&A in Boston.
Wait, I want to say one thing. I really need to say this because I didn't really get a chance to really talk much about Shelley, but I'm going to tell you that you guys came to see her, right?
Yeah.
She's amazing. She was amazing in the movie. But I just got to tell you, man, when I watched that every 6 minutes seeing you playing drums, I just couldn't believe you were so amazing. And even rewatching it now just blew my mind. You were so there. It was so amazing what you did, and I just really wanted to point that out because it's just really, really key.
I have a question.
Wait, I have a question. Was that line written before or after you met Shelley? Like if Keith Moon and Shirley Temple had a love child?
It was in the script
Before or after?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that was so perfect. Okay. I keep meaning to ask you that. I keep forgetting.
Okay, good. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What else are we gonna do?
What else?
Rock and roll.